Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Today we want to show you a piece of artwork and a story, as we do all the time, and also some kind of wise sayings, and so a small mention of an Islamic scientist. Let's start with the artwork. The artwork is called Silah, which means connection, and as you can see it here, this is Silah, as it appears in one of these catalogs. This piece of artwork has been shown a few times in more than 3 or 4 museums, and also in Christie's exhibition in 2005, my Christie's, shall we say, solo exhibition in Christie's in 2005. And also has been seen, also been published in this catalog, and that is an exhibition in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur. So that is the artwork. The artwork has, if you like, an explanation. The word silah means connection, but it is not only connection, sense of connection between people, but it is a connection between the writing of the language. Arabic has a special way of connecting the words and connecting the letters, and therefore the word silah is a sign which we put on the writings in the, shall we say, different words, or sometimes between one letter and the other of the same word, which means that you connect swiftly between this letter and the other letter without stopping. So that is the word itself. And it has, of course, it has that explanation about it, which as I did, but it looks to me that might be a bit too long for us to read it. But it is here anyway. It is here. That is the explanation here. And it says, we might not, shall we say, have a problem to read some of this. The silah means the linkage sign, indicates what is known in Arabic as silah, which comes into operation whenever 2 successive words are to be joined and pronounced as one single unit. The sign portrays here is used in writing to mark a smooth, gliding and continuous movement of the tongue from the end of the first word to the beginning of the second. Arabic being the language of Quran, pregnant the Islamic concept of which silah is one. 4 words also refers to the Islamic principle of exhorting human solidarity, unity, brotherhood. Muslims are required to observe silah not only in dealing with their kin, parents, close relatives, but also with their neighbors, the poor, the needy, and the oppressed. Silah is the opposite of separation and loneliness, and it stands for togetherness, harmony, unity, and for the same time the word for prayer, which means salah, which means the link that connects man with God. So this is the word silah, and that's the meaning of it. It's one of those science which is you find it a lot of in the Arabic writing, and it gives a lot of, as you can see, meanings here, and it plays more than one role when it comes, shall we say, to the language, and also to the meaning of human togetherness and to human relationships. So that is the word silah. Now the silah itself has some poetry, as you can see, and all this poetry which is written about 25, 26 years ago, because this is 1993 work. So yeah, 26 years ago. We're talking about, shall we say, the, uh, the, um, the poetry is asking people to be kind and to be generous and to help the poor and the oppressed, and some of that. So you could see that here we are in Arabic and also in English. We have more than one of these here. Some of them by Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib, very well known, and also by Urwah ibn who is very well known, also poet in all times, and as you can see here, and that is the artwork which is we are talking about. Now, for us not to dwell too much on the same thing, we might need to move to a nice story, which is I heard when I was in a very large meeting. That was a conference in 2003 or 2002. And there was this gentleman who started telling us about this story. But anyway, I have heard this story more than once, and I have heard it in sometimes slightly differently. And also I received it written by a friend of mine. The story says that there was this emperor in India who was powerful and was doing a lot of good things to the people, and so he thought that people, the emperor thought that people love him because he was doing a lot of good things to them. But he had this very much like a wazir, i.e. a minister helping him doing things. And this minister being asked by the emperor to tell him if one of these days he said to him, look, so and so, I think people love me. He says, this is the emperor saying to his wazir, to his minister, I think people love me. He said, no. He said, people don't love you. The minister was honest with the emperor, and he said that people don't love you. He said, how? I mean, I've seen all the time they are showing their love to me and the rest of it. They said, okay, but I mean, we always can test that. If you want to test this love of the people for you, we can do something about it. He said, what we are going to do? He said, ask people, let us put a big container, say a very large pot in the middle of the town, and say to people, if you love the emperor, come at night and pour in this big pot a jug of milk, some cup of milk, and we will see what happens later. So they started working with this, and they established that big pot in the middle of the square of the town or the city or something like this. And they told the population around them that if you love the emperor, you go at night by yourself and pour a jug of milk in the big tank, which is the big pot. And of course, being left like that. The idea was that the emperor will come in the morning and open this big tank, and he will find the tank filled with milk. That was the idea. That was the proof that the population loved him. So anyway, when the emperor and his minister came in the morning and opened that big pot, they didn't find milk, but they found water. And that was strange, because if they didn't find anything, no milk or no water, then that was a clear sign of people are not willing even to come to show their support. But to find the tank filled with milk, with water instead of milk, was an unusual way of thinking. So what was the explanation? The explanation was, and it is very simple and very easy to understand, that the people everybody came with some jug of water with him, because he was by himself at night. Nobody was looking at him. And he thought, if I put instead of milk, I would water, if instead of milk, I would put water, 1 cup or 1 jug of water is not going to affect the hundreds of thousands of other jugs of milk who is going to be poured to the tank. So what that means that this person, every one of them, was relying on others to do the right job. They didn't say that they don't love him. They were willing to come and to show their support, i.e. by bringing a jug of something and pouring it at night to the tank. But that wasn't the right stuff. What the wisdom which is we learn from this, the wisdom which we learn from this is that people always, or not exactly always, but a lot of people, sometimes the most number of people, will rely on others to do their, if you like, their responsibilities. Instead of everyone make sure that they will do their responsibilities, they rely on somebody else. They think, okay, now if I put this water here, nobody is going to detect it, because there is thousands of other jugs of milk is going to be poured there. That kind of reliance made this idea clear to all of us. And of course, the story was, the story I don't know if it is 100% true or not. But what is important about it, it covers the nature of people that most of us do not do fully our responsibility. And therefore, we are not effective, because this kind of responsibility only can make any good changes to life if everybody does their responsibility as good as they can. And let's hope that this comes to our understanding altogether. Next point is a small, wisdom is always going to be big. Doesn't matter how many words has it. But the important about it is always going to be big, important. Yeah, this is a very nice, wise sayings. It's an observation. It's an observation which makes sense to all of us, and also it is always something which we observe, and sometimes it's part of our experience. So we take this nice saying which says, "The bird flies high. The bird flies high, but always returns to earth." It is very simple and strong. Also, we have that in Arabic in slightly differently, very much the same, but slightly differently, which means that it doesn't matter what anybody will do in life, become very important person, become famous, becomes rich, powerful, influential, but we all will leave that behind and we go back to earth. So the bird flies high, but always returns to earth. Doesn't matter what we do. What that means that we need to be considerate. We need to be able to use our successes in the right way, to be kind to others, and to be considerate when we are doing our things and we are flying high in our successes. And some of us will feel very proud, and some of us will feel even arrogant. And of course, that is one dangerous area of success, is arrogance. But arrogant people shouldn't forget that they're going back to earth. It doesn't matter what they do. Now we come to the Muslim scientist. Muslim scientist is very well known, and he's one of the greatest scientists in history when it comes to his field. Right, yes, it is here, and it is Abu Abdullah al-Batani. He is the 10th century scientist, and he was in mathematics and astronomy and other branches of science as well. He was a key to a lot of changes when it comes to our understanding to this kind of area of science. And he was very influential when it comes to results, which has been followed by others after him. And of course, his name is also appears in more than one area. It might be here. There's a lot of that. He becomes one of the important books about history of science is this book, and this is only one volume of 4 or 5, and it is very a lot of as you can see, there's some of that here. So that's this. Now, it comes to Islamic science. This book's only, you can see, this book's only mentions very quickly what some of the Islamic science achievements, and it's a matter of taking care of this and looking at it and reading it and being aware of it. Hope that this give us some food for thought for the future. Thank you very much, and see you later.